Baba, Bhola Baba, Bhola Baba, Bhola Baba. Om Namah Shivaya, Shankar Mahadeva, Bhola Baba. Om Namah Shivaya, Shankar Mahadeva, Bhola Baba. Om Namah Shivaya, Shankar Mahadeva, Bhola Baba.
Namaste, Sitaram, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to Rudraaya. I am your host, Nisha Sharma, and Rudraaya is being brought to you with the kind compliments of Maharujadev Mandir. And our Mandir is located at 850 Tapscott Road, Unit 34 in Scarborough, with Tapscott and McNichol being our closest intersection. So today, again, very special segment of Rudraaya. We are having a memorial segment this morning as we remember the late Haricharan Ramnarayan, who is the late husband of Shanti Haricharan, a father of 16 children and grandfather of 27 grandchildren. So today we remember him, better known as Mona, and of course that was 7 years ago. So this entire program is dedicated in loving memory of Haricharan Ramnarayan, better known as Mona. We'll get straight into our pravachan with our spiritual leader, Pandit Ravi Sharma.
Hari Raghuvar Ge, Hari Raghuvar Ge,
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 Shri Ramayan Ki, Hari Raghuvar Ge,
Shri Ramayan Ki, Hari Raghuvar Ge.
जिनके घर जब हो ये रामायण, जिनके ये घर जब हो ये रामायण, समझे हरि दर्शन की, समझे हरि दर्शन की, श्री रामायण की, हरि रघुवर की,
श्री रामायण की, हरि रघुवर की,
श्री रामायण, हरि रामायण, प्रभु रामायण, हरि रामायण, श्री रामायण, श्री रामायण की, हरि रघुवर की,
श्री रामायण की, हरि रघुवर की,
हरि रघुवर की, हरि रघुवर की,
हरि रघुवर की, हरि रघुवर की,
श्री रामायण की, हरि रघुवर की. Dear devotees, let me say once again it is my pleasure to be here in the company of you and yours via Rudraaya. In today's society, all of us, we are trying to handle the continuing challenge of the coronavirus to the best of our ability. Amongst many things, we are striving to make the best use of the time at home, as we are made to stay home and stay safe. One way in this context is surely applying our minds to the lofty teachings of the Upanishads. This issue brings to you a few more selected mantras from the Vedanta in the form of something to ponder, something that becomes tips for saner living, and something quoted in the editorial, and so on. There are many insightful remarks on sadhus. There's a beautiful katha taken from the Mahabharata, and it tells us of the fate of a sparrow can strengthen our faith in God and His ways. Arjuna and Krishna, they were surveying the battle to devise their strategies before the Kurukshetra war began. A sparrow fluttered up to Krishna and chirped, "Bhagwan, my Lord, look, my young ones are going to be killed tomorrow when the fighting begins." Krishna looked, and sure enough, there was a nest on the ground with young ones squeaking away merrily. The sparrow was most distressed. Teams of men and elephants were clearing the field for battle. The tree on which her nest had been built had been knocked off by an elephant. Krishna only smiled and he said, "I cannot stop the wheel of time." The sparrow was quiet for some time. Then it said, "But I can have faith, O Lord." And Krishna smiles. The next day, the Kaurava and the Pandavas' army, they stood facing each other across the battlefield, ready to begin. That's when Krishna, who was Arjuna's charioteer, turned around and he said, "O Arjuna, please hand me your bow and arrow." Arjuna was startled. He said, "Krishna, you had vowed not to fight. Tell me what you want done." However, Krishna, he quietly took the bow and arrow from Arjuna's hand. Then he said, "Look, look. That is the elephant that knocked down the tree on which the sparrow had its nest." He fitted the arrow into the bowstring and he took aim at the elephant. However, the arrow, instead of piercing the elephant's hide, only knocked off the bell around its neck. Arjuna was surprised. "Krishna," he explained, "you missed. The elephant is alive. Shall I?" "No, it is all right," replied Krishna. The war of 18 days was over. Krishna drove Arjuna's chariot through the battlefield and suddenly he stopped. "Look at that bell," he said. "Can you lift it, O Arjuna?" Arjuna was surprised. Was Krishna going to make him clear things on the battlefield? He hopped off the chariot and he lifted the bell. Then came the surprise. 4 young birds fluttered out from under the bell, followed by the mother sparrow. They had been safe under the bell all this while. Krishna never meant to kill the elephant. All he had done was to reward the sparrow's faith by keeping her and her little family safe under this big brass bell. Friends, in conclusion, faith is often its own reward. It can make things happen. Faith, Shraddha, Vishwas Faith is also accepting the grand design of the Lord. While we put all right efforts in all possible ways, letting go of worries about things beyond our control, learning to go with God's plan rather than expecting our life to go according to how we wish it to be. Action with surrender is the essence of faith. Jai Bhagavan.
Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan, Bandodharine Kamal Raghunandan,
Bandodharana Kamal Raghunandan.
जिनकी कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
जिनके कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
जिनकी कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
जिनके कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
पावत जन भक्तन उर चंदन, पावत जन भक्तन उर चंदन, पंडोचरण कमल रघुनंदन, पंडोचरण कमल रघुनंदन.
So my dear viewers, we are heading straight into Christmas this week. So I know a lot of you are making preparations, and even though Christmas will not be the same this year, I'm sure just this season brings you so much joy and so much happiness. And to also know that, for the past 8 months or 9 months we've been through this pandemic, we are ending the year safe and sound. So just that in itself is a blessing. So we wish you all the best for this holiday season. And of course, please be safe and stay healthy. We'll get straight into our health segment with Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon.
Sitaram and welcome to Health Corner. I am Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon, and today is the second in our two-part pregnancy series on the developing fetus. Today we are focusing on how the fetus is affected by its surrounding environment. At the conclusion of last week's talk, we highlighted that the first 12 weeks of fetal development is the crucial time where all the organs and structures are formed. The last 28 weeks of the pregnancy is where the already formed organs grow in size. Therefore, these first 12 weeks are when the growing baby is the most susceptible to its environment and various stressors that we will now discuss. The growing fetus is supplied by the placenta, which provides the nourishment and the oxygen needed for growth. Most everything the mother ingests, including food, liquids, and medications, travel through the placenta to the fetus. Anything the mother is exposed to in the environment affects the fetus, and if the mother is exposed to something harmful, the child can show lifelong effects. The first we will discuss is alcohol. Alcohol use during pregnancy is the leading cause of preventable mental disability in children. Excessive alcohol drinking during pregnancy can cause fetal alcohol syndrome, which results in lifelong consequences for the child. This can include a smaller head size, abnormal facial features, learning disabilities, and developmental delays. There is no known safe levels of alcohol during pregnancy, so it is recommended that all pregnant women avoid alcohol, especially during the first 12 weeks. The next is drug use. Illegal drugs such as heroin, cocaine, and ecstasy can cause a range of developmental problems, including physical and mental disabilities and low birth weight. The baby can sometimes be born addicted to certain drugs if the mother habitually used during pregnancy. The next is prescription medication. There are many known medications that can affect the growing fetus, and many more drugs where the effect is not known because there are just no studies available. it is crucial that all medications be reviewed by a physician to see if they are safe to use during pregnancy. The next is smoking. Nicotine from cigarette smoke travels through the placenta and to the fetus. This can result in low birth weight, stillbirth, and sudden infant death syndrome. The greater the exposure to cigarette smoke, the greater the chance of an adverse outcome. This also applies to secondhand smoke. Another exposure risk is radiation. This is commonly seen in X-rays and CT scans and can directly cause developmental and birth defects. It is important to have a discussion with your physician before having any procedure where radiation exposure is a possibility. The last major environmental factor is the mother's psychological state. Any form of stress experienced by the mother can have negative effects on fetal development and leads to harm to both mother and child. When the mother experiences excessive stress, there are stress hormones that are released into the blood, and that can cross the placenta, affecting baby and baby's growth. There are many studies that clearly show that excessive stress during pregnancy is linked to pregnancy complications. Similarly, depression or excessive anxiety in the mother during pregnancy is associated with higher complication rates and fetal mortality. It is very clear that mother's psychological well-being has a lot to do with proper development of the fetus. At 18 weeks of pregnancy, the fetus can hear its surroundings, including any voices. This is where the developing baby listens and responds to sounds and voices. Talking to baby in a calm, positive tone helps stimulate brain development, and often baby moves and kicks in response to these positive sounds. I hope that this two-part series on fetal development has been useful to you. I thank you for joining with me on Health Corner, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week on Rudraaya.
जीवन देके जाल बिछाया रच के माया नाचन छाया जीवन देके जाल बिछाया रच के माया नाचन छाया चिंता मेरी कभी मिटेगी चिंता मेरी कभी मिटेगी जब चिंतन में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम तुमने लाखों पापी तारे मेरे बारी बाजी हारी तुमने लाखों पापी तारे मेरे बारी बाजी हारी मेरे पास न पुण्य की पूजी मेरे पास न पुण्य की पूजी पर पूजन में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपने चरण में ले लो राम जग जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल बरदानी अचल बरदानी अचल बरदानी अचल बरदानी अचल बरदानी अचल बरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल बरदानी जगमग जगमग ज्योति विराजे, जगमग जगमग ज्योति विराजे। तेज प्रताप निधानी हो रामा, तेज प्रताप निधानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी जग जननी, जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी। जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। अचल बरदानी। महिमा गमय पार तुम्हारो, महिमा गमय पार तुम्हारो। शेष सुरेश न जानी हो रामा, शेष सुरेश न जानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी, अचल बरदानी। जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा। चल बरदानी।
बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल करने बिना परमानंद का अनुभव कर। ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तो धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल करने बिना, अब चल करने बिना, अब चल करने बिना। प्रभु की प्रार्थना का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण। हे आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे, तू सारा जीवन। देख प्रभु तेरी निकट विराजे, ओ
dear viewers, we've come to the end of another segment of Rudraaya. Again, this entire segment of Rudraaya was dedicated in loving memory of Haricharan Ramnarayan, better known as Mona. And of course, the dedication comes from his late wife, Shanti Haricharan, 16 children and 27 grandchildren. So we hope that his children and grandchildren who are looking on, and of course his in-laws, that you have the fondest memory of your father and your grandfather. 7 years ago he left you, but he left you with certainly a legacy. Would like to thank our kind sponsors at Maharudraaya Mandir, as well as our executive producer Gary Khan for making Rudraaya possible. And again, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas as we're celebrating Christmas this week. And please stay safe. And of course, I'd like to leave you with one of my famous saying. And it goes like, in life, you will realize there's a role for everyone you meet. Some will use you, some will love you, some will test you, and some will teach you. But the ones who are truly important are the ones who would bring out the best in you. They are the amazing people who remind you of why life and you is all worthwhile. So remember those people and keep those type of people very close to you. My dear viewers, until we meet again next week, have a blessed week. Enjoy your Christmas. Stay safe. Stay happy. Namaste.
Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama. Gita Dhamaka Gagita Dhamaka Gameya Bhogi Gati Dini Jo Jajada Jogi Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri